I'm seeing a $25 donation from Digital Deer. So happy to donate to a great cause. Thanks to everyone who works hard to put on SGDQ. All the runs have been amazing. And you're absolutely right, they have been, and there are so many more amazing runs to come. We've barely gotten started. All right, thank you for your patience. It looks like we are about ready for Super Bonk Any Percent SNES by LeadOstrich. Take it away.
All right, hello everyone. I'm LeadOstrich, and I am super excited to be able to play one of my favorite games from my childhood for you all today, Super Bonk. Now, I'm guessing most of you have never heard of Super Bonk, and of those of you that have, are probably most of you are not familiar with the speedrun. So there should be something new for just about everyone today, and I'm very excited to show this off. Now, the cutscenes in this game are unskippable, and the storyline is just goofy and really fun. So I think I've got enough time built into my estimate that we should be able to watch the opening cutscene and kind of, follow the storyline as we go today. So there's Bonk. He's our caveman protagonist here. He's flying around on the title screen. He can't normally fly in the game, but on the title screen, he does whatever he wants. And the opening cutscene will play here. Bonk's going to be taking a leisurely stroll, and his arch nemesis, King Drool, is going to set a very clever trap for him, consisting of a piece of meat on the ground, clearly labeled trap. But Bonk's not all that smart. He falls for it anyways. It's a pretty good-looking piece of meat, and he gets trapped in King Drool's space-time machine and gets sent to some sort of alternate dimension or timeline. I'll let you decide exactly where Bonk gets sent as we play. And there we go. That's the kind of sets the stage for the story of the game. Now, normally there's a 21-second intro to the game that we normally wouldn't count towards the timing. We're just going to count it down from when I press start on the title screen, and we can all subtract 21 seconds at the end to get the true time. So here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, begin. Now, as I mentioned, there's this 21-second intro. During this intro, Bonk pops out from the space-time portal in Chinatown, or in the Japanese version of the game, basically in the middle of Tokyo. For some reason, they decided to reskin the entire first stage of the game. But anyways, Bonk's gonna give his eyeballs a good tug here to make sure they're still intact, and then we'll get started. You may notice right away that Bonk doesn't move all that quick, but there are all sorts of different items and power-ups and things to explain as we go, starting with this yellow flower that acts like a trampoline. We'll grab the red candy, which makes us small, the yellow makes us regular, and the blue makes us big. And then we'll get a meat out of this orange flower, which is a power-up. So now we're powered up into our first power-up form, which is called Fester Bonk form. Then we'll jump down into this shortcut area. And one of the big pieces of vertical movement tech that you'll notice in this game is basically, facing head down to move downward more quickly. This works in the water here as we do these dives. It also works outside of the water in areas where we want to drop quickly. So that's a big piece of vertical movement tech you'll see. Then we'll grab another piece of meat here, which brings us to our second power-up stage, which is called Kronk Bonk. Whenever we enter Kronk Bonk form, we get a 10-second period of invulnerability and increased movement speed, which helps us navigate through this section more quickly. And as you can see, you have to be small Bonk to fit through this area. That's kind of a theme of the speedrun, is being small Bonk to fit through a lot of shortcuts. So then we'll finish swimming through this area. Now, in games like Mario, when you get squashed by a giant block that's part of the terrain, you just instantly die. Or in other games, you may just take damage or get flattened or whatever. In the Bonk series, when you get squashed by a giant block, that's right, transform into a crab. And so you can see Crab Bonk here, and I still have my power-up, so I'm actually yellow crab now. So I'm still the first stage of power-up. Now the crab form swims faster than regular Bonk, so that's really nice for this area. And we'll get our power-up back later. We'll exit the water here and head on over. We're gonna ignore this sentient dinosaur-faced automobile guy, mind his own business, no reason to mess with him. And head over to the jump wheel, where we will jump to the sky. And And remember, kids, whenever you transform into a crab and jump too high on the trampoline, what happens? That's right, you end up on top of an airplane. So we're gonna be on top of the airplane here, get our power up back. And there's a wind effect here on this stage. We're gonna kind of bunny hop through to negate most of the wind. Once we get inside the plane, the wind goes away. We'll go down into the cargo area and climb on up to the roof where we'll find our first boss. Now the first boss's name is Moonbeak. And it's not quite clear to me whether Moonbeak is somehow like a loyal minion of King Drool's, or whether it's just a creature that lives on top of airplanes and we've invaded its natural habitat. But regardless, the boss theme starts playing, so we're gonna go ahead and attack Moonbeak here and take him out in 4 hits. Since we had Kronk Bonk form, it only takes 4 hits compared to the normal 12 hits it would take as regular Bonk, so it makes pretty quick work. And we're already through stage 1. So speaking of the unskippable cutscenes, here's our first one in game. Bonk falls off the airplane, falls down onto an island, but not just any island. It is Jurassic Island. We have to escape from Jurassic Island. That's right, even though we emerged in like modern day Chinatown, it's a Bonk game, there's gotta be dinosaurs in it. So here we are on Jurassic Island anyways. Now these giant dinosaur feet are gonna try and squash us. And if they do, they would turn us into a crab again. But on this stage, we don't want to be a crab again because crabs can't climb these vines. It's hard to tell because Bonk's small, but he's using his teeth to climb the vines, and crabs just lack the dentistry to be able to do that. So we can damage boost through this one and go underground. We're into Alligator Cave. Because as everyone knows, you know, alligators are creatures that like to make complex tunneling systems. So we'll head on down here and navigate through here. Here's a great example of where we want to go head down to fall more quickly, but then you want to unflip before you hit the ground. The kind of the golden rule of Bonk speedrunning is you don't ever want to land head down because you will be stunned for a short period of time and lose time there. So we'll climb up these stairs and head on over to the black hole, which is just a little introduction to like these pipe mazes that exist in the game. Where Bonk can squeeze through these pipes. And they kind of clearly mark the X's and O's on them, except for this one. It's a mystery which one you got to go in. But anyways, that's just kind of setting up for later. And when we tunnel out of the black hole here, we find that we are actually in a modern day looking human house on Jurassic Island still, I think. Although Bonk does look suspiciously small in this house. Now they've got a nice TV here. Let's see what they're playing. Oh, they're playing a game. It's hard to see with the smiley thief in the way, but it's called Super Crab Bonk. So let's check that out. What is Super Crab Bonk on the TV here? Oh, it's a little mini game where we get to be a flying crab and collect items. This is fun. Well, wait a minute. Why are we playing a mini game in the middle of a speed run, you might be wondering? Well, in this mini game, the developers down here decided to hide a nice warp token. So we're gonna grab the warp token, and actually with all those smiley tokens up above, we actually wanna stay away from them because when there start being too many of them on the screen, it starts to create lag. So we normally just hang out down here, avoid the lag, and wait for the auto-scroller to end. And in the meantime, since we grabbed a warp token, we're going to be skipping the rest of Act 2, and I promise we try and keep up with the storyline. So to fill everyone in, what would have happened if we continued to Act 2 is we would have found ourselves inside of a large glass of orange juice. We would have then found out that the owner of that house was actually a large dinosaur, surprise. He would have consumed us with the orange juice. We would have had to navigate through the innards of the dinosaur to the heart, where we would have to fight a large mustached parasite inside the heart. Upon defeating this mustached parasite, they would cause the dinosaur to sneeze, launching Bonk out of his nostril at escape velocity and sending him straight to the moon. So now no one will have any questions whatsoever, I'm sure, as why we start Act 3 on the moon. And we may have time for a donation reading here if we've got one.
I've got a real quick one for you. $5 from RPD234. Greetings from Denmark.
All right, so the beginning of Act 3 here, we're entering the moon, and the very first screen is this no gravity section, so it's a little tricky. I'm gonna have to concentrate just for a second to count the number of flips here, see if I can do this right. All right, make our way on. It's really hard to control. That was pretty good. Okay, and then we'll head underground where, of course, on the moon, once you're on the moon underground, everything returns to normal Earth gravity, as you'd expect, right? So anyways, this is the hardest trick in the game. Let's see if I can actually pull it off. Nope. Okay, that's fine. So there's these invisible blocks that are one way, and if you start spinning at just the right height, it's possible to skip those, but that's okay. We don't lose that much time just coming back up here. And now we're going to enter another area where I haven't gotten to explain a mechanic yet. So whenever we're small bonk, we get this other ability to be able to shoot stone letters out of our body, spell the word rage, and write on them. They're immune to gravity, and use them as platforms. So here in the Rage Cave, it's all based around this mechanic of shooting the rage letters out and writing them. So we're going to do that here to navigate through this area. It's a great little ability. No bug spawned there, so no chance to use a shortcut. We'll just do rage again here. And then we'll exit up to the back to the surface of the moon and see the ruins. There's a couple new things to talk about here. First of all, we're going to grab a big meat, which whenever we're regular bonk, still turns us straight into cronk bonk. And the other thing is something I haven't really discussed yet, but is a staple in like all bonk games, and that's this, just rotating through the air. Like by continuously flipping, we can kind of avoid dropping quickly, which is just a very important piece of like horizontal movement tech that's pretty much existent in what all the bonk games are centered around. So you'll see some usage of that there. Then we'll head into this cave, which contains Crabless Lake. And as you may have guessed from the name of this area, we do not want to turn into a crab here. So we're going to wait for these crab blocks to go and not get squished. And the reason why we don't want to be a crab here, other than just it being called Crabless Lake, is because this, as the sign says there, no crab can climb. So crabs, they can't climb vines, they can also not climb waterfalls. So if you do accidentally get turned into a crab there, it's like a 2.5 minute time loss while you have to take a big detour. So we don't want that. And then we'll just go into the inconspicuous pyramid on the surface of the moon that everyone knows exists. Now inside the lunar pyramid, we'll navigate our way over here. There's another shortcut. And actually this shortcut, you have to be small again, but we also actually have to grab a minigame flower. So yes, we actually have to play a minigame again here. This, it's a tube maze minigame, and they want you to kind of go around through all the different tubes and collect all the items and then get to the end. But we're going to take the shortest path straight to the end. The game's going to tell us we did bad, but we actually did good because we got through it quickly. This is much faster than taking the long way around, playing the minigame and then coming up here. We'll head into the Question room, where there's a big secret here. So every pyramid needs a good secret. We'll try and hit the hitbox on this thing's really finicky, but if you can do it right. We'll open up this extra little cave, and then we'll go through this unnecessarily long tube. And this tube, and get squashed into a crab again, and we'll enter another flying crab auto-scroller. These are the best. So this one's called Get a Warp Panel. So once you find this secret, then the developers kind of expect you to find the warp panel at this point. So yeah, spoiler alert, we're gonna be finding another warp. In this auto-scroller, you can see though that we're kind of confined, like we can't get away, we can't keep the smiley tokens off screen to reduce lag. So on this auto-scroller, the way to reduce lag is to shoot and collect all of these power-ups or power-downs, regardless of what they are, because our health will get refilled at the end of this section anyways. So we just want to collect everything. I love these tokens. They're supposed to be nothing, but they actually do damage you when you pick them up, but that just cracks me up. And then this warp that we're going to be getting skips not only the rest of Act 3, but it actually skips all of Act 4, which you know what that means. I've got some storyline to catch everyone up on. So what would have happened at the end of Act 3 here is we would have fought a large samurai rabbit riding a mechanical thing as the boss. And then upon defeating the rabbit, the pyramid explodes, the rabbit drops a giant blue candy, and Bonk has to go navigate the rest of the solar system to look for a way home. Then Bonk would find in Act 4, Bonk would find a large creature-made comet, have to infiltrate the comet, defeat the boss of that comet, which is a mammoth with a vacuum cleaner nose, and then cause the comet to explode, launching Bonk out at a very high velocity. And of course, what happens when Bonk his body's exposed to extreme conditions? He gets turned into a crab again. And then there's a final crab auto-scroller, which is at the beginning of Act 5, and that's what we'll be warping to. There's the warp token that we got to grab. That's the most important thing here. And we'll exit. And so now we're going to go straight to the beginning of Act 5, where we're going to start in another crab auto-scroller. This one has one of the best tracks and an already great soundtrack in the game. So I'm going to sit back, we're going to listen to this track, and I'm going to hand it over for about 1.5 to 2 minutes of donation readings while we enjoy.
I almost don't want to say anything. I kind of just want to jam out. The first thing I'm going to do is give you all an update on this bulk/navigator bid war that is the next run. Leon Rose is in the lead with $115. Mythical Flare is in second place with $105.02. And Lyra Hart is in third place with $100. An extremely close bid war going on there. But in the meantime, here's $100 from Marquis Mark, who says, had to start out SGDQ with a donation. Keep being awesome. $25 from Unfriendly. Second time watching, first time donator, loving the streams. We have a $25 donation from Mai. Great runs tonight. SGDQ has been amazing so far. Let's keep raising more. The Jaded Mew donates another $25. Currently on the upswing from being quite sick for a while, so GDQ is lovely to have on while I recover. Thanks for the event as always. Thank you for your donation, and I hope you recover very quickly. Speaking of $25 donations, here's another one from Mini Sphinx. Been watching SGDQ for years now, and I've loved it so much. The community is so amazing, I'm thinking about getting into speedrunning myself. Love y'all. Let's see that FNAF security breach run. Hype! An update on that FNAF security breach run. We are at just shy of $10,000 toward that currently. That is the next bonus run.
All right, and here we're gonna enter the Twilight Jungle, which is like the final gateway here before Bonk can get back to his own timeline or universe or whatever. And now in this section, this is kind of the section right before the boss rush, and we're going to try and get 2 pieces of meat here. Because that'll be very useful in the boss rush. All right, we got both pieces of meat. Very good. And now we'll enter the boss rush area, which is called Memory Cave, which I find funny since we actually skipped 3 out of these 4 bosses, so we don't really have a memory of them. But we're going to fight number 2 first, which is the Mustache Heart Parasite. So this will be fun to see how my descriptions of these bosses line up with what everyone imagined when you get to see them for real now. And this boss is very important to fight first with our Kronk Bonk power-up because Kronk Bonk has the ground pound ability. And this boss's weak points are the colored balls that orbit it. And with the ground pound, we can actually damage all 4 of the balls at once and make very quick work of this boss. It's at least 30 seconds faster than alternative ways of fighting it. So we choose that one first because our power-up is going to wear off over time here. We only have the chance to fight 1 boss with our Kronk Bonk form, and now it's going to wear back off into Fester Bonk. So now we'll fight Moonbeak again next. And since we're down to Fester Bonk form now, it will take a few more hits than it did the first time around. Still not bad, just 6 hits instead of 4. Moonbeak still doesn't stand much of a chance. All right, now we get to do my favorite thing, which is turn into what I call Ostrich Bonk. This is the first time we get to pick up a blue candy in the run, since all the shortcuts require red candies. Now, Ostrich Bonk has the special ability to lay explosive eggs, which sadly is not useful at all in the speedrun, but it's fun. And then regular Big Bonk's special ability is to pop his head off like a projectile, which is also fun. whenever you're Big Bonk, the special abilities cost smileys. You may have been wondering what those smileys do. If you get 100 of them, you get a 1-up, but also they act as a currency for those special abilities as Big Bonk. All right, now we'll fight the Comet boss, the vacuum cleaner nose mammoth. As Big Bonk, we can jump up pretty high and get some early hits on him, which is nice. All right, there we go. Still got the 1 cycle. And then there's one final boss that's unique to the boss rush here. The question mark boss here. And this is probably my favorite boss in the game, just like from a character design perspective. Smiley Navel, that's his weak point. All the boss areas are named after their weak point the first time you encounter them. And there's a very interesting mechanic that was discovered in this boss. So if you can see I actually hit the boss twice there. The developers, I don't think they intended for you to be able to hit the boss twice in a cycle. So what happens after you hit the boss, it becomes invulnerable and then does this whole go into the background, spin around, come back to the front, which a full cycle of this boss takes about 15 seconds, so it's pretty long. But if you hit him with Bonk and then an object, it lets you actually hit the boss twice. So an object, in this case, I'm using a flower, but if you were small Bonk, you could also use the rage letters as an object, so either one works. So this boss actually lets you hit him once with Bonk, once with the flower, and you can actually get a 3-cycle kill on this boss, whereas before this trick was discovered, it was a 5 or 6 cycle kill, depending on if you were playing the Japanese or US version. The Japanese, in the Japanese version, that boss actually has a little bit less health, and you could get a 5 cycle kill. In the US, it was 6, but now you can get a 3 cycle on either version of the game, which actually changed which version of the game ends up being the faster version from the Japanese version to this version. So anyways, King Drool here has, in his secret surveillance center, immediately sees when Bonk comes back to his own timeline and says he's gonna have to use his last resort here. Now we're gonna come back at the bottom of King Drool's tower and have to climb up the tower. And we're not gonna do it the way that it was intended. So I am again gonna have to focus just for the first half of this climb, because I've got to count my flips here to try and get up the wall correctly. And then I'll explain what's going on. Oh, dragonfly in the way. All right, so as you can see, the signs say rage. What you're supposed to do here is get a red candy and use the rage letters to kind of navigate this stage. But we're not gonna do that. We're gonna stay regular Bonk. There we go. And navigate up this way. So as long as you do this rapid flipping, you can actually get back to the wall and gain height that way, which is nice. All right, we're into the tower now. So this next area is called Invisible Bonk, but it's really more like get lots of meat and be invulnerable the whole time Bonk. The reason it's called Invisible Bonk is because if you're large Kronk Bonk, your special ability is to turn invisible, and when you're invisible, you are immune from the spikes. But we're not actually going to get a blue candy in here at all, anyways. So I love all the signs that say "Can you?" ? This is getting near the end of the run, so if you're on a PB pace, it's always kind of taunting you, like, can you get that PB, or are you going to mess it up? So the "Can you?" has become kind of a joke whenever you get a good pace late in the run. So yeah, instead of grabbing that blue candy there, we're just gonna grab the red candy, ride the rage, get another big meat here. And jump on over here. Walk over some more spikes. Grab another meat and continue on. Just keep going. All Ride the rage here. Destroy the rage here. You can see they want us to grab yellow candy, but we're going to use the rage letters to avoid that. And then ride the rage over here, or across this big gap, and into the final trap. Now this screen's actually pretty annoying casually because these spikes do a ton of damage. But thankfully when you have a power-up and you get hit, all you do is lose your power-up instead of take actual damage, so we can just damage boost through. And now we've made it to the top of King Drool's tower, where you will expect an epic face-off against the final boss now that we've reached the top of his tower. Well, actually King Drool just kind of sees us and says, oh, Bonk's at the top of my tower? I didn't really need that tower anyways. I'm just going to knock the whole thing down. So now we fall to the ground and we begin the multi-sequence final boss fight. The first phase of the final boss is basically an auto-scroller. King Drool has some big machine. He's going to try and grab us with these claws and shoot cannonballs at us. But he's quickly going to realize that all we have to do is move about 2 pixels right and left, and he can't grab us. And the claws just kind of get in each other's way, and the cannonballs are very easy to knock aside. So we just do this for a little bit until King Drool realizes, yeah, this isn't going to work. And I guess King Drool's solution to this problem is to, well, you'll see. Yeah, the cannonballs stop. He's like, all right, this isn't working. I guess I'll just give Bonk a giant blue candy. That sounds like a good idea, right? All right, now we're big. And in this part of the fight, we're not going to really do as intended either. We're going to damage boost on one of these cannonballs to get up on top of King Drool here and very quickly eliminate this phase on what's normally supposed to take much longer than that. And go into the third phase, which is a scripted section. You can use 4 different attacks, but thankfully it's scripted which ones you'll use in which order, or else this would actually be a pretty big pain. Jump, dash, run, jump, and pause. And this we'll get the, oh, he faked me out. All right, that's fine. We got him, okay. So, it's not time yet though, because he's gonna come back and spit out one more giant blue candy that we'll collect. And here's the best part of the game. Time will be coming up in like 5 seconds, but we get to be extra big Bonk and chase him down and squash him, and time. There we go. We have to squash the Drool's machine. Now he's running away, he's crying. He's not paying attention to where he's going, and we're back to the trap from the opening cutscene. Oh, and he gets trapped in his own trap. Wonderful. And sent to the alternate timeline or universe that Bonk got sent to. And that's Super Bonk. So yeah, this, if we've got a couple minutes to let the credits roll, I guess, while I'm talking, but yeah, this game, I grew up playing this game a bunch. It's great, and I would encourage anyone to go play it casually. Because what you saw there, you know, I used warps, but there's also a lot of different branching paths that you can take. If you do a casual playthrough of this game, you're going to get quite a bit of different experience from what you just saw there. So I highly encourage anyone and everyone to go try it for themselves. If you want to speedrun the game, even better. That'd be amazing. We could always use some more people running this game. If you don't quite feel like doing either of those things, but you still want to see some more Bonk, I am probably going to be routing and running the never-before-seen warpless category of this game over the next couple weeks. So if you're interested in that, you can always come check out my channel and watch some of that. Yeah, and so one more little tradition here. During the credits, as I mentioned, the Japanese version of this game used to be the faster version of the game due to that Smiley Naval fight taking one less cycle. So normally you'd be watching the credits in Japanese. And when you're watching the credits in Japanese, everyone's name's in Japanese, except for the director, Angela. Angela's name is in all giant letters, all caps English, letters. So it stands out significantly. So it would become somewhat of a meme or a tradition, whatever you want to call it. So whenever Director Angela's name appears in the credits, we like to spam Angela, all caps, followed by a heart, which is appropriate here. We can all thank Angela and team for this great game. And so whenever you see Angela's name, feel free to say Angela Hart. But I guess I also want to take this chance then to just thank all the GDQ staff and volunteers for making this event possible. It's been an absolute blast to be a part of, and I hope that I'll be able to come back and be part of more of these in the future. Thank you for, thanks to all the viewers. There's Director Angela. There we go. Thanks to all the viewers. I hope everyone enjoyed this game as much as I enjoyed, playing it for you all. And I guess, most importantly, thank you to everyone who has been able to and has donated, since that's what we're all here for, right? Is to raise money for a great cause. So thanks the most to those that have donated. And as King Drool says there, I'll be back, and he will. I didn't know as a kid, but there was a Japanese-only sequel to this game. Maybe it'll make an appearance at a future GDQ. Who knows? Thanks for having me.
What an incredible run. I was talking with LeadOstrich earlier before that run, and they mentioned that was going to be their first ever GDQ run, and I wouldn't have known. Fantastic run, fantastic commentary, great job. In the meantime, we have a $10 donation from Ratch. Let's go, gamers! In a world currently filled with chaos, I'm so glad we still have awesome events like this. Thank you. And Bonk by Aquas is up next. So as you all donate to its hotly contested bid war, SGDQ 2022 will take a short break. Welcome back once again, everyone, to Summer Games Done Quick 2022. We all are having a lot of fun here at about 4 in the morning local time. How about a $250 anonymous donation? Thank you so much for your generosity. That $250 donation can purchase a hand-powered centrifuge for urgent laboratory testing in settings without electricity for MSF. Thank you so much. The True Ginger Ninja with a $25 donation with a comment that says, I have been watching for years and really enjoy what y'all do, and it amazes me every single time what this community does and accomplishes in a single week. Let's break 3 mil once again. Also, a bit of a callback, but honk! And you know, I really should give you an update on this bulk/navigator bid war. That is really starting to heat up. I've seen some donations come in fast and furious for that one. Medical Flair has taken the lead after being in third place in that bid war, sitting at $180.03. Leon Rhodes is at $150.03, and Lyra Hart is in third place with $100. Still in sniping range, absolutely. That run is coming up next, though, so you've got to get your donations in. And hey, while we're talking about incentives, here's $25 from Ghostboy96, who simply says, you gotta get those incentives met. You're absolutely right. The one goal we have open right now is the Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach bonus game, sitting at just shy of $10,000. And just a reminder that all of your donations to this event go to support Doctors Without Borders, or MSF, which is an international medical humanitarian aid organization. Part of MSF's mission is to speak out publicly when their teams witness extreme acts of violence against individuals or groups, or when access to life-saving medical care is hindered. The decision to do so is always guided by their mission to alleviate suffering, protect life and health, and to restore respect for human beings and their fundamental human rights. In 1999, MSF was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in recognition of its pioneering humanitarian work around the world. We have a $500 donation from Dr. Bobtastic. The comment reads, a board donation processor here, a challenge for Twitch chat. If you can collectively, let me try that again. If you can collectively raise $1,000 in the 10 minutes after this is read, I will drop an additional $500. I believe in you. $1,000 in 10 minutes starting right now. We can definitely do that. Let's go late night crew. Perhaps early morning crew at this point. I don't know, where's the line drawn? I have a $25 donation from Kursu Wolf, who simply says, "Love you, GDQ." Thank you so much. That $25, by the way, can purchase life-saving treatment for 15 adults suffering from malaria. So all of your donations make quite a difference. We just passed $10,000 raised for the Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach bonus game, by the way. And here's another update on this bulk/navigator bid war. That run is up next. Mythical Flare is still in the lead with $180.03. Second place is really close. Leon Rhodes has $150.03, and Lyra Hart has $150 even. This is still anybody's bid war. Sabera donates $1,000. Raise $1,000 in 10 minutes to make another $500? Done. Love you all, love MSF, and I'm loving these late night runs. So let's get that bonus run. And with that, it looks like we are about ready for bulk/by Aqua's. Best of luck.